Just want to give a quick shout out to Sandshrew for Prez, who is not only consistently on the top 20 of the leaderboards, but he also streams and hosts public lobbies for high elo players. Go check him out on Twitch if you're interested in high skill level play, and this game right here happens to be one of Sandshrew's lobbies. Also playing in this game is the absolute legend Curry, who is one of the creators of Pokémon Auto Chess. And aside from being super hardworking and co-creating one of the greatest fan games of all time, Curry is extremely knowledgeable and a very competent player, so we're in for a very interesting match. Anyways, right off the bat, I already noticed that I'm in a region with Alolan Raichu. I, as a player, have also become a little bit more proficient at the hyper-rolling playstyle, at least the version of hyper-rolling that also focuses on economy. You can see me doing that in my previous video with a bug flying comp, but this game I'm definitely thinking about getting that Alolan Raichu, and the path to that will be making a strong win streak team early, developing my economy, and then using that money into getting that Alolan Raichu, and then with my unique portal, pivot into either a Psychic or Alolan Raichu forward team, and hopefully we'll be able to coast through the early and mid game, and we'll figure things out in the late game once we're there. Just like our previous video, we're able to get an evolution before the Spearows, alongside an early amulet coin, and this just confirms, yep, I'm going for a win streak this game. So here we go, we've got a Charmeleon with our amulet coin, we'll hold on to that Pichu, and I'm also trying to figure out how to position my units in the best way to get my Charmeleon to get all the kills. Not certain if this is optimal, but Charmeleon ends up picking up 2 gold, and our turn 4 item carousel, we already have an amulet coin and we can also make a fluffy tail. So right now what I want most is some ability casting friendly items. I'll happily pick up this Mystic Water, and with our last round at level 3, it's time to roll down our money, focusing first on Pichus, but also some strong evolutions. I don't get too lucky with the Pichus, but I do get a Slowbro, which is really strong. And with some even more rolls, I pick up a Flaffy. And yeah, with this core of 3 evolved Pokemon, I'll hopefully be able to win streak into the mid game. And we don't have any active synergies at this moment, but who needs active synergies when you can overwhelm your opponent with sheer stats? It was a comfortable win for our first PvP battle, and it's time to start getting our money back up. We got our first Pokemon item draft, and I do want that Black Glasses, but I also want to be wary of not adding too many artificials to the game, so I'm keeping a close eye on seeing what other Pokemon people are adding to the game. And once I see 7 Pokemon added without any artificial symbols, I'm not too concerned about adding Nosepass into the game. But now we can make a Wonder Box, equip that onto our Amulet Coin holding Charmeleon. We'll throw in a Litwick for both Fire Synergy and Light Synergy. That creates a little light spot on the field which will buff the Pokemon standing on it. The light spot is random and unchangeable, but it's on our front line, which is great for our Charmeleon. And with our itemized Charmeleon, who's also buffed by a light spot, our team makes short work of our opponent's Grass Floral team, which is normally a very strong early team, but not at all to us. And shoutouts to our Charmeleon for picking up 3 money. And in the next round, I'm able to pick up my third of hopefully 9 Pichus. And as crazy as this sounds, I decide to sell off my Charmeleon in place of that Pikachu frontline. I don't know if this was actually a good decision or not, but generally I find backline units more consistent with that amulet coin. They tend to survive longer and a little bit more focused with their damage dealing. I can also work towards an early Electric 3 synergy. And our next battle is against some babies, so we'll take a free win here. At this point, we're the only undefeated player, and our money is definitely doing very good. We're trying to save up as much as we can for that round 9 roll down. And here we have yet another round against some babies. This game is recorded on the new patch 5.7. With the new changes and buffs to baby synergy, you're pretty much bound to see someone trying to get eggs every game now. Here's round 8, so that's another Pokemon draft. This time I'll pick up that Twisted Spoon alongside Shieldon. I'm not too concerned about fossils this game. And we'll speed through this next round, continuing along. When I recorded this game, there was kind of a bug where your bench disappears when you scout around your opponents. Just want to quickly bring that up so you don't get concerned that everyone's units are disappearing. As far as I know, that has been fixed though. And here we go, it's pre-Gyarados. I find 2 Dittos immediately. Very lucky, but expensive. We're going to be rolling down our money until we get that Alolan Raichu. I'm also trying to pick up Pokemon that will synergize with Alolan Raichu, just so that we can force the right synergy portal to show up. While doing this, I was able to evolve myself a Xatu, and after rolling about 40 whole gold, I'm finally able to find 4 Pichus. Honestly, not the greatest Pichu luck, but we did get 2 Dittos. And with that, we have a very expensive Alolan Raichu before our unique portal. My goal is to enter the single portal with a psychic symbol, which I am thankfully able to enter after a short walk. And with our unique choice, I can either pick up the psychic Pokemon Hoopa or the dragon duo Latios and Latias. I really like dragon synergy, so I'm going to pick up the latter. I also have a second Flaffy, and with my team leaning more towards Psychic now, I don't think I need an Ampharos. So what I do is sell off that Flaffy and give those items to Latias. I also make a Soul Dew and give it to our Raichu to give it some scaling damage on its really strong ability. And yeah, the goal now is to get our money back up once again, utilizing our very strong Psychic team. We do have Psychic 4 synergy active, which will provide a huge boost in ability power for all of our Psychic Pokemon. I also realized that I could get a Dragon 3 synergy, which would actually in turn give us Psychic 6 synergy, but unfortunately I don't catch that fast enough, but that's fine. It's still a very comfortable win for our team. For our next item and Pokemon draft, I pick up a Twisted Spoon alongside Snubbull. Knowing that there's a bunch of baby players this game, I definitely don't want to add another baby to the game. This round, I also swap in my Horsey, which was on my bench, which gives me Dragon 3 synergy, but more importantly, Psychic 6 synergy, as now both Latias and Latios' Psychic synergy is being counted twice. Our next opponent is running a Fossil team. It does put up a pretty good fight, but our damage is just way too much, especially with that boost from Psychic 6 synergy. And we're happy to take yet another win. Okay, next item component carousel, we're going to be moving dead last, but I also picked up an Unknown G from our Psychic 6 Unknown shop. For this item carousel, I end up grabbing a Nevermelt Ice, knowing that I can turn that into a Pokédoll with my Heart Scale, but honestly, I probably should have just grabbed that Mystic Water, knowing that my team is focused on casting their abilities. And ultimately, what I really want is to combine that Heart Scale with some Black Glasses, making a Fluffy Tail and preventing any ghost shenanigans or some annoying statuses from making my Alolan Raichu weak. And in this round, we can already see a very strong artificial team utilizing that Nose Pass that I added to the game. They've got a fully kitted out Iron Hands, and with my Raichu paralyzed, they're able to take me down in a pretty close fight. In fact, the battle was so close, I lost by a single HP. Anyways, this round we're finally able to get to level 6. I want to keep making as much money as I can and leveling up, so it's time to start messing with some utility unknowns. I throw in an Unknown G, which can potentially make me 5 gold. We'll nestle it behind all of our team. We can also switch our Xatu back in because we can maintain that Psychic 6 synergy without Dragon active. And as we face off a Grass Floral team, very fortunate to have the perfect positioning on our Latias and Latios. With their abilities hitting multiple targets over and over, they're able to do tons of damage, bursting through our opponent's grass healing. Our Unknown was also able to pop off, giving us 5 gold. And that's a round 1 for us. Now we've got Mewtwo coming up. I'm going to try to see if I can get another Unknown gold boost. Unfortunately, Mew does the teleports behind you. Sorry, nothing personal, kid, and kills the Unknown immediately. Oh well. We get a Charcoal as a reward, and we also grab a Black Glasses finally, which will let us make that Fluffy Tail I've been needing. And yeah, while Alolan Raichu does do a ton of damage with its ability, it's sort of acting like our tank, because it actually ends up being our Latios and Latias that do the most damage. I also very quickly just add a Fennekin to the team, just to hit that Psychic 6 synergy. The Unknowns count as a Psychic Pokemon and they expire, so I did need to find a Psychic replacement. And here we go, we're against what looks to be a team mid-pivot, a Cursula-based Ghost team. It actually proves to be a very difficult matchup for us. A bunch of our units almost die, but we just managed to barely hold on, and we're pretty happy to see that round 1. And in the next round, I'm able to get to level 7 and pick up a Ralts. Ralts is great since it's both Psychic and Fairy, which brings us to Fairy 2 synergy. It also has Human synergy, which alongside Fennekin actually provides us with Human 2 synergy, just a little bit of added healing. I'm also able to grab a Ditto from the shop, and we'll face off against our opponent's normal Sound team. A very scary comp this patch, but thankfully with our Raichu immune to burns and poison, we're able to make short work of this team. Sound can definitely become a very scary team later on in the game, so it's great we're able to win this round, and hopefully shut down that Sound team before they're able to pop off. Now we've got our final item component carousel. I'll be moving last, as I am in first place. I also pick up an Unknown G for that gold, and moving last in the carousel, I'm able to pick up a Twisted Spoon, which I'm actually quite happy about, because with that, I'm able to build a Shell Bell and give that to our Raichu, which provides it with some healing on its damage dealt. Since it's acting as a high damage dealing frontline tank, that's the perfect item to top off our Raichu's kit. And we'll face off against our next opponent's Dark team, who tries to jump into our backline, but we're comfortably nestled into the corner. And it looks like another resounding win for our team with our Raichu at full health thanks to that Shell Bell. We're very quickly working towards level 8, and I want as much money as I can get, so it's time to throw in this unknown G. And here we go, we're facing off our opponent's fighting team. They've got a very scary Infernape in the back line. Our unknown is able to use its ability just before it dies, granting us the extra 5 gold. And as the battle continues on, our opponent's Infernape is able to get so much attack speed from its ability. It's also become a ranged unit thanks to that wide lens that it's holding. And in the end, it ends up being able to outduel our Latias. A very close fight that could have gone either way, but we'll be taking our second loss there. Alright, now we've got Lugia and Ho-Oh coming up, and that does mean our legendary portal comes after that. I don't really know what I want as a legendary. Probably just a nice strong frontline psychic unit like Deoxys Defense. But against Lugia and Ho-Oh, I also try to get an Unknown R to pop off. Unknown R can give us free shop rerolls, basically just free money. Thankfully, it is able to use its ability. And Lugia and Ho-Oh award us a Twisted Spoon, which does mean our last item is going to be a Power Lens. For my legendary portal, there's a bunch of psychic portals, but ultimately I want the one with the sound symbol, because I am scared of that sound player making a crazy comeback, and I want to deny them of that late game. For my legendary, I end up picking Victini. There's some other pretty good choices like Spectrier, or even splashing in Amorphous Ghost with Darkrai, but ultimately I decide to just keep it simple with that strong psychic frontline with Victini. I also make that Power Lens and throw it on my Victini, making it a little bit tankier. And now being level 8, I also have room to mess around with another Unknown G, just trying to squeeze out a tiny bit more gold as we head into the late game. My plan now is just to keep my core team strong, throw on whatever strong units I can, and with my health advantage, if I lose any rounds, I can use that lead to give me as much time as I can get to figure out those last spots on my team. My next opponent has a very strong Fossil Rock team, and with the Deoxys, it also looks like they're trying to pivot into an Amorphous team. My Unknown is able to get its ability off, but the rest of my team just kind of get trounced by that Fossil front line, alongside that Deoxys throwing out constant blasts from the back line. If I was smart, after this loss, I would have definitely moved my team from the right side to the left, because our team is sort of getting picked off one by one how they're positioned currently, and our Latias and Latios aren't able to effectively use their abilities. But this round, I'm able to get a Swablu, and I use 2 Dittos to evolve it immediately into Altaria. Altaria is a very strong late game dragon who can deal damage to an entire line. It's also able to bring me up to Fairy 4 synergy, and since Dragon 3 is now active, this ultimately makes the rest of my team a lot more flexible, since it will be a lot easier for me to maintain Psychic 6 synergy. I end up throwing a Happiny in my team, which is a great late game tank support Pokemon, and as we face off our opponent's artificial team, despite being positioned terribly against that Mewtwo, a lot of our team gets bursted down by that Mewtwo, but the rest of our team is able to hold out just long enough, and despite my constant failure of not recognizing that my positioning is not helping me at all, our team is strong enough to give me a win anyways. Alright, for the next item carousel, I end up not having a very good selection, since I am moving last still, but I end up picking a Moonstone, which can give another Pokemon Fairy synergy. The extra special damage on attack might be nice to give to one of my backline units, so we'll throw that Moonstone onto our Latios. I'll rearrange my team around, and again, we really need to move it to the left. Seriously, watching this video back, it's really annoying me. And this round we face off against a Grass Poison team. The poison spreads very quickly on my entire team, but thankfully our Raichu with its fluffy tail does not care at all. And yeah, had it not been for the items that Raichu is holding, this round would have easily been a loss. But this Raichu does not care at all about those skunk fumes, and this Raichu is going to solo my opponent's last 3 Pokemon, including that legendary Eternatus. And yeah, the moral of the story is the best gas mask is just a little cat toy. Alright, we're working our way towards level 9, we're pretty close, and we still have a lot of health left, which is a great position to be in. This round I decide to greed even more unknown gold. Probably shouldn't be doing this anymore, but I am a very greedy player. And here we go against a very scary late game Steel team. My team gets wiped out so fast and the Unknown doesn't get to cast its ability. And honestly, things aren't really looking good for me. I do think I'm losing more than I'm winning at this point, so we'll need to figure something out quick. Hopefully that level 9 bump will make things a lot easier, but at this point I don't fully know what my team needs. Honestly, the right answer is probably just positioning, but we'll see how long it takes for me to realize that. We've got a non-player round coming up, and this is the actual safe time to do gambling with unknowns. And I don't want to win the round before that unknown pops off, so we'll swap out some of our team for some Ralts. And this ends up working out perfectly, as our unknown is able to use its ability, generating us some extra gold, just seconds before we're able to take down that Zapdos. As a reward, I end up picking up a Cleanse Tag, which provides our team with some extra shielding and Rune Protect. We'll equip that Cleanse Tag onto our Victini, and this round I also decide to go to level 9. A little inefficient, as it costs 4 money to do that 4 experience point bump, and I only needed 2 XP, so that does mean 2 gold was wasted, but that's fine. And another mistake here is I actually forget to throw in my 9th Pokemon. I should probably just throw in a Fairy Pokemon to get Fairy 6 synergy, but ultimately I'm thinking about working in Dragon 5 synergy. I figure the extra shields that it will provide will make my team a lot stronger. And here we go, as we face off the scary Infernape fighting team, and despite the mistakes that I've made, my team is still much stronger than it was previously, and this time we're able to defeat our opponent's fighting team. Unfortunately, since we have 5 players left, this was a ghost version, and this win here would have actually been enough to knock them out of the game. But looks like Curry will be hanging on with 1 HP. Alright, this round I make the switch and throw in 2 more Dragon Pokemon with Gible and Jangmo-o alongside that Dragon 5 synergy. Our frontline is much stronger, and we also have Sound 2 synergy. And here we'll face off that scary Fossil Amorphous team. Once again, our team loses its positioning. Altaria, who's able to do a ton of damage in a horizontal line, is not able to do much in this vertical shaped engagement. Our Alolan Raichu also got focused down very quickly, and as we near the end of this battle, it's very close, but yet again, it's my positioning that's costing me. And our Latias, with its shields, still gets one-shotted by our opponent's Deoxys. Alright, item carousel, I'll grab a blue orb given the options that I have. It'll be helpful as it gives some extra PP and it can burn our opponent's PP. I also evolve my Gible into Gabite and pick up a Ditto. I'm still holding on to a lot of money, and I can't afford to do so because I still have enough health for potentially 2 more losses. That being said, I do decide to spend a little bit of my reserve cash and roll down to 40. I do find myself a second Happiny and evolve myself a Chansey after using that Ditto. And here we go, we're facing off against Curry's fighting team once again. Unfortunately this time our Latias's Wonder Box doesn't provide it the best items. Our opponent's Infernape is able to get tons of abilities off, increasing its attack speed like crazy. It's hard to tell what's going on, but the fight looks very evenly matched. But in the end, our opponent's tanky fighting team ends up outlasting ours. That pesky Marshadow is able to do tons of damage jumping into our backline and stealing stats. But also that backline Infernape, which basically turned into a machine gun. Yet another round loss, and it's not looking good for me, but look at this. I finally realize it's my positioning that's causing me these battles. It's time to swap everything to the right so that our front lines engage in a much nicer way. And it's also time to start spending down our money, at least after this non-player round. I don't think the team needs any drastic changes, but whatever evolutions we can get will be nice, starting with Jangmo-o. It would also be nice to get a Kirlia and give it a Pokénomicon. And check it out, as a reward for defeating our non-player round, I can pick up a Pokénomicon. That's going to go on our backline Ralts, who's able to target multiple Pokemon with its ability. I also am able to find 2 Swablu's and a Ditto very quickly. And as we roll away our money, picking up whatever we can, I very quickly pick up a bunch of Jangmo-os, giving me a second Hakamo-o, and I'm also able to evolve a second Altaria. And with that, I run out of money, but I didn't hit any evolutions. I could use the Ditto to get a Kirlia, and I think about doing that for a second, because I am pretty much out of money and time. But I roll the shop one more time, and look at this. Let's pause. I can get a Mega Altaria, which is pretty much a guaranteed win for the game. But I don't have enough money to be able to do this immediately. And there's also only like 4 seconds left in the round. Now, I could maybe survive the next round and buy the Mega Altaria then, but I no longer have the health to afford another round loss. So, in the spur of the moment, I decide to sell off what I can, which makes me enough money to be able to afford the 2 Swablues. Combine that with a Ditto, while moving at the speed of sound, I'm able to evolve a Mega Altaria at the very last second. Unfortunately, Mega Altaria doesn't yet have a sprite, so unfortunately for now it's just gonna look like a black circle. But this battle ends up going off super well. With our team actually positioned properly, we're able to do lots of damage. This battle is honestly not even close. It's not even the Mega Altaria that's winning us this round, it's basically just our better positioning. Our Victini is able to hit multiple targets, same with our Latias and Latios. Our front line is also no longer taking down one by one, and this ultimately makes our Chansey support a lot more effective. And yeah, the battle against this Fossil Amorphous team goes completely differently. We're able to outdamage our opponent by almost double, and our backline stays full health, and we're finally able to win comfortably against our Ghost opponent. And with me fighting a Ghost player this round, that means my opponents are facing each other. So I quickly check to see how their battle's going, and their battle ends in a draw, which knocks both of them out. That means I get first place by default. But let's be real here. With my Mega Altaria and being aware of positioning around my opponent's team, I think had their round not ended in a draw, I would have won anyways. With that being said, this just might have been the craziest ending to a game I've ever seen, and I'm really glad to have been able to share it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya in the next game.